Now, as Israel continues to come under attack and continues to defend its people, two leaders of Islamist extremist terrorist groups have been killed. One definitely by Israel, the other most likely. The deadly hits, one in Lebanon and the other in Iran, follow more deaths on Israelis' territories. After the appalling attack on the Golan Heights on the weekend, where 12 young people were killed on a soccer field, Israel Defence Forces were able to target the whereabouts of senior Hezbollah terrorist Fuad Shukr, who authorised that strike and hundreds of other rocket attacks on northern Israel. He was pinpointed in the Lebanese capital Beirut and targeted.
There'd been plenty of warnings, including Israeli warplanes flying over the Lebanese capital hours before this. Then a drone attack. Witnesses said they heard several, targeted on a high-rise block.
That attack clearly came from Israel. They've made that clear. And they say that Shukr was the senior Hezbollah military commander. But just a day after that, another terrorist leader, this time an even more significant figure, has been killed in Iran. The leader of Hamas, Ismail Haniyeh, was killed in Tehran, where he was attending the inauguration of the new Iranian president. There are reports that Haniyeh and a bodyguard were taken out by a precision-guided missile, and Hamas has blamed Israel.
Iran's Revolutionary Guards said Haniyeh and one of his bodyguards were assassinated in the capital Tehran. In a statement, Hamas said he was killed in a treacherous Zionist raid on his residence in Tehran. Haniyeh was in Iran to attend the swearing-in ceremony for the country's new president. No one immediately claimed responsibility for the death, but Israel has vowed to kill Haniyeh and other leaders of Hamas after the group attacked Israel on the 7th of October.
Now, these are two crucial blows struck, most likely by Israel, against the leadership of two evil Islamist extremist outfits. Both have killed hundreds of innocent Israelis in the past, and both are funded and supported by Iran. The repercussions will be significant, and in the short term there could be retaliation from these terror groups. But I just want to bring us this back to the ugly political debate, really, about the Middle East and Israel that it plays out around the world, and including here in Australia. And I want to remind you of the absolute horror of that Hezbollah rocket attack that killed 12 young people in Israel. They were from the Arab Druze community living in the Golan Heights. A warning, this vision is distressing, but we have to show you the horror that people are living with in Israel. It's important to know about, and this new footage shows children playing and then what unfolded after the air raid sirens sounded. Yeah, just horrific stuff, and we edited that down to spare you the most traumatic footage. Remember that rocket hit a soccer field. It killed young people playing soccer, and the Hezbollah military commander has now paid for that with his life. But thinking about this attack on a soccer field, an attack on innocents on a soccer field, it prompted me to wonder why there had been no public condemnation from the activist Craig Foster here in Australia. He's the soccer commentator and human rights activist who's been highly critical of Israel and even called for it to be banned from sporting events over the war in Gaza. But when innocent Arabs were killed in Israel by a Hezbollah terror attack on a soccer field, there was no mention of this tragedy on his social media account. Late today, we asked Foster about his silence, and he said the attacks were awful. He condemns any attacks on innocent civilians, and while he's been busy with the Olympics, he will get around to posting something about it soon. So there you go. But look out for this. As you know, much of the media have run hysterical claims against Israel, blaming it for deaths that haven't occurred or that have been caused by Hamas rather than by Israel. Yet the response to innocent deaths in Israel always seems to be, what shall we say, more measured. Israel is so often criticised for daring to defend itself and its people, but once more, it seems it's had to act again to target two murderous extremists who really bear responsibility for the atrocities in the Middle East and who were hiding in plain sight, really, in other countries.